The soft morning light filtered through the curtains, falling gently upon the face of a man who had slept for an entire year. Mộc Tiểu Dao was still sitting beside the bed, her head resting against her hand. Her eyes were tired, yet peaceful. She had stayed awake all night, watching over him. Suddenly his finger twitched. His eyelashes trembled, then slowly his eyes opened. The world seemed to freeze. Tiểu Dao jolted to her feet, her heart pounding violently, her breath catching in her throat. Trần Hạo. Can you hear me? You're awake. Her voice trembled, her eyes shimmering with tears of overwhelming joy. But the man in front of her did not look at her. There was no confusion, no emotion, no warmth. Instead, his gaze was cold, guarded, even unfamiliar. Who are you? His voice was hoarse yet clear. Why are you here? The smile on Tiểu Dao's lips vanished. Her heart plunged into an abyss. I'm your wife, she whispered, barely louder than a breath. Trần Hạo stiffened. I don't have a wife. His eyes sharpened like knives, filled with suspicion and irritation. Don't lie to me. Tiểu Dao's body trembled. She reached for the edge of the bed, forcing herself to stay calm. You and I are married. A month ago. His expression grew even colder. Impossible. My marriage only belongs to one person. He inhaled heavily, then spoke each word slowly. Van Lan. Tiểu Dao froze. That name pierced her heart like a blade. When the family rushed in, Trần Din Long nearly burst into tears when he heard his grandson had awakened. He rushed forward, clutching Trần Hạo hand. You're awake. You're really awake. But Trần Hạo didn't look at him. His eyes were fixed on Mộc Tiểu Dao. Grandfather, he said bluntly. Why is she in my room? The air instantly turned suffocating. Trần Din Long hesitated. Mộc Din Phong and Mộc Can stood frozen, not daring to speak. Only Master Hian Kong stepped forward, sighing softly. She is Trần Hạo wife. Trần Hạo clenched his fist, veins bulging. That's impossible. Why would I marry a woman I've never even met? Tiểu Dao bit her lip, her hands gripping her clothes until her knuckles turned white. The truth is revealed. Trần Din Long tried to explain. How? You were in a coma for a year. The master said that to survive, you needed a marriage to someone whose fate matched years. Tiểu Dao. Was the only one enough? Trần Hạo cut him off, his voice icy. His gaze swept toward Tiểu Dao, as if she were a criminal. So you took advantage of my coma to climb into the role of the CEO's wife. Tiểu Dao's face went pale. No. That's not it. I shut up. His voice was sharp, cutting deep. I don't need anyone's pity. And I certainly don't need a stranger to save me by crawling into my bed, through some cheap ritual marriage. Her eyes filled with tears. For 1 year she had endured everything. For one night balanced between life and death, she gave everything she had, her strength, her heart, her love. And in return she received 2 words. Cheap. Disgusting. The CEO begins to end the marriage. On the very first day he regained consciousness, Trần Hạo declared before everyone. This marriage will end. I will investigate everything. If I discover any hidden motives, I will show no mercy. Tiểu Dao bit her lip, her heart tightening painfully. I don't want anything from you. As long as you're alive. That's enough. He looked at her as if she were joking. Why pretend to be kind? You destroyed my happiness with Van Lan and now you want to act noble. She said nothing more. She didn't argue. She didn't explain. Because when she looked into his eyes, she knew no matter what she said, he would never believe her. One loves in silence, the other sees only guilt and hatred. That night, while the whole family celebrated, only one person drowned in despair. Trần Hạo lay in his hospital bed, one hand pressed to his forehead, breathing heavily. In his mind, there was only Van Lan, her gentle smile, her warmth. As for Mộc Tiểu Dao, a name he didn't want to remember, he let out a cold laugh. Though she really think that sleeping with me once makes her Mrs. Tran. I'll make her leave this marriage on her own. His eyes darkened cold as ice. He had woken up. But for Mộc Tiểu Dao this was the true nightmare. Van Lan returns. That morning the Tran family villa was shaken by shocking news. Van Lan had returned. She appeared at the entrance of the grand hall, graceful and elegant, her eyes red as if she had endured unbearable suffering. Her fragility stirred sympathy in everyone who saw her. Trần Hạo sat in a wheelchair, his face still pale, yet his eyes lit up the moment he saw her. Lan. That single word was enough to tighten Tiểu Dao's heart painfully. Van Lan hurried forward and knelt before him, her eyes glistening. How? You're awake. You're finally awake. She trembled as if about to faint, forcing the servants to rush over to support her. The entire house buzzed with admiration for this deep, unforgettable love. Tiểu Dao stood nearby, taking a step back, her hands clenched tightly. The one who saved you was me. Trần Hạo looked at Van Lan, his voice still weak. Lan. I heard that Tiểu Dao was actually the one. No. Van Lan interrupted, her voice choking with emotion. You don't know. While you were in a coma, I ran everywhere seeking doctors, searching for remedies. Even if it was a miracle, I would have done anything to save you. She dabbed her tears and continued shakily. Do you know? I knelt outside Lingyan Temple for 3 days and 3 nights, without food or water, just to beg the high monk to help change your fate. The room erupted in astonishment. Even Tran Din Long looked at her in admiration. Is that true, Van Lan? He asked, trembling. Yes. I didn't dare say anything. I was afraid people would think I was showing off. She lowered her head weakly. But it was because of me that the abbot finally agreed to dispel the misfortune surrounding Hao. Trần Hạo clasped her hand, his eyes filled with emotion. Lan. I owe you my life. Those words stabbed straight into Tiểu Dao's heart. She stood behind them, her long hair falling to hide her reddened eyes. She knew the truth. The family knew. Master Hien Kong knew. Only Trần Hạo, blinded by love, did not.